Good morning, students. As we have done various theories to discuss and study structure and chemical bonding in various molecules, and valence bond theory successfully explains the structures and the number of bonds and the geometry of the molecules present in a particular compound, but it fails to explain various properties of a substance. So let us discuss one more theory, which is called molecular orbital theory, to understand some basic concepts. Molecular orbital theory was developed by Hunt and Mulliken in 1932, and it explains the following things successfully. It can explain the energy levels of a molecule, means how various orbitals are arranged in the order of energy for a particular molecule, and this also explains magnetic and spectral properties for a particular compound and a molecule, which were not explained by earlier given theories, like paramagnetic and diamagnetic nature, electronic transitions, and how electricity is conducted in solid substances. And it also predicts existence of molecules, like why helium 2 He2 molecule does not exist whereas other molecules exist. H2 exists but He2 does not exist. So existence can be understood by the help of this theory by calculating bond order, and calculation of bond order is also a very useful application of this theory, which was not possible by other theories. So next important features of molecular orbital theory. Firstly, atomic orbitals combine to form molecular orbitals, means whenever atomic orbitals or atoms come closer to form a molecule, so atomic orbitals having similar energy and orientation overlap or combine to form molecular orbitals, and this combination can take place in two ways to form two types of molecular orbitals: bonding molecular orbitals and anti-bonding molecular orbitals. When electrons are present in bonding molecular orbitals, they lead to stability, and when electrons are present in anti-bonding molecular orbitals, that lead to instability of a particular molecule. And number of atomic orbitals combined to form a molecule is always equal to the number of molecular orbitals formed, means जितने atomic orbitals combine होंगे उतने new molecular orbitals form होंगे. And the molecular orbitals, like atomic orbitals, are filled in accordance with the rules that we have already discussed while filling electrons in atomic orbitals, that are Aufbau's principle, Pauli's exclusion principle, and Hund's rule. Next is the central idea behind this theory is, actually this theory is based on quantum mechanical model, and it explains the molecule as a collection of nuclei. For example, how we can describe an atom when we discuss quantum mechanical theory, that atom can be described as a you can say collection of a nucleus and delocalized atomic orbitals, and all these atomic orbitals are surrounding a centrally located nucleus. But molecule, according to this theory, can be viewed as a collection of nuclei, means if we are considering a diatomic molecule, then there will be two nuclei. Otherwise, for you can say polyatomic molecules, there may be more than two nuclei, and these molecules are actually electronic cloud or molecular orbitals which are delocalized around centrally located nuclei. And these molecular orbitals are formed by actually considering atomic wave functions, and these atomic functions can be summed to obtain molecular wave functions. So this combination can take place in two ways. If wave functions reinforce each other, then means if they are in same direction or they are of same symmetry, then a bonding molecular orbital is formed, and in that case total or resultant amplitude of the molecular wave will be equal to the sum of two atomic orbital wave functions. That is, bonding molecular orbitals are formed by additive effect of atomic orbitals wave functions, and whereas if they are out of phase or when these wave functions cancel out each other, then anti-bonding molecular orbital is formed, which have a node of zero electron density between the nuclei. Let us see how it takes place. Now we'll discuss linear combination of atomic orbitals. When two atomic orbitals combine or overlap to form molecular orbital, and suppose they are of same symmetry, means actually we are representing these atomic orbitals with sign positive or negative. So if both of the atoms have same symmetry and same sign, then the molecular orbital which is formed will have resultant amplitude is equal to psi a plus psi b, and in that case these wave functions are getting added and bonding molecular orbitals will be formed. But if atomic orbitals are of opposite sign, then the resultant amplitude of the wave will be subtraction, that is psi a minus psi b, that is it is formed by subtracting effect, and these kind of molecular orbitals are called anti-bonding molecular orbitals. So this is how the shape of these molecular orbitals we can discuss. Firstly, we will discuss combination of s orbitals. When s orbitals combine in such a way that both of the orbitals are in phase, constructive phase, then electron probability density increases between two nuclei and a sigma bonding orbital is formed. And when these two s orbitals combine in such a way that their wave functions are in destructive interface, then we consider them out of phase, and anti-bonding molecular orbitals will be formed in which there is you can say approximately zero electron density between the nuclei of these two atomic orbitals. As you can see in the diagram, which is represented by that zero electron density is represented by the nodal plane region. So sigma bonding orbitals or the bonding orbitals, they have maximum electron probability between the nucleus, and as you can say that these two orbitals are constructing that molecular orbitals due to additive effect, so they are formed by attraction forces between the nuclei and the electron cloud, so they have energy lesser as compared to anti-bonding molecular orbitals. Have a look at the structures and the shape of the molecular orbitals formed by combination of p orbitals. When actually we consider z axis as internuclear axis, so when pz orbitals overlap in such a way that they are in phase and they're forming molecular orbitals according to additive effect, then the pz orbital, then sigma pz orbital is formed, and when they are forming molecular orbitals out of the phase, then sigma star pz orbitals are formed having a nodal plane. Similar cases can be discussed for px and py, which are lying perpendicular to internuclear axis. So these are the structures of bonding and anti-bonding orbitals which are formed by px and py atomic orbitals. And all you can see that in anti-bonding orbitals there is a nodal plane lying between these nuclei of molecular orbitals. Let us have a difference between bonding and anti-bonding molecular orbitals. Anti-bonding molecular orbitals are formed by addition overlap of atomic orbitals, whereas anti-bonding molecular orbitals are formed by subtraction overlap. And the wave function of Bonding and anti-bonding molecular orbitals can be given by these particular formula, as we have already discussed. As bonding orbital formation takes place when lobes of atomic orbitals have same sign, whereas anti-bonding molecular orbital formation takes place when lobes of atomic orbitals have different signs. Energy of bonding molecular orbital is lower because it is formed by additive effect and there is greater attraction between the two nuclei and the electronic cloud. So the energy of bonding molecular orbital is lower than the atomic orbital itself, whereas the energy of anti-bonding molecular orbital is higher than that of atomic orbitals from which it is formed, because they are formed by repulsive interaction. And the energy density is higher in the region between the nuclei of bonded atoms in case of bonding molecular orbitals, as we have seen in the structure of those molecular orbitals, and in case of anti-bonding molecular orbitals, the electron density is low in the region between the nuclei of bonded atoms. So these nuclei experience greater repulsion. Every electron in bonding molecular orbital contributes towards the attractive force. It's very important to understand. कोई भी electron अगर bonding molecular orbital में present होगा तो that will experience a kind of attractive force and that stabilizes a molecule, whereas presence of electron in anti-bonding molecular orbital contributes towards repulsive force and it will destabilize the molecule. Next, have a look at the energy level diagram on the basis of molecular orbital theory. बेटा अभी हमने डिस्कस किया कि variety of molecular orbitals are formed and they are basically of two types, bonding and anti-bonding, and they are represented by putting a star sign. अगर हमने anti bonding को represent करना है हम star put करते हैं, and sigma bonding जो head to head या end to end overlapping के through हो रही है बेटा molecular orbital formation, then sigma molecular orbitals are formed, whereas pi x and pi जो p x and py orbitals हैं when they overlap sideways, then pi molecular orbitals are formed. So this is the energy level arrangement, you can say, diagram on the in increasing order of energy. 1s is lying lowest in energy, followed by 2s and then 2p. So accordingly you can see that molecular sigma 1s is lowest in energy, followed by sigma star 1s, sigma 2s, then sigma star 2s, then sigma 2pz, then pi 2px and pi 2py, then pi star 2px, pi star 2py, sigma star 2pz. So up to 2p, like for 10 electron system, we can arrange the molecular orbitals in this order of energy, but there is exception for few molecules. Let us see that. For molecules like boron, carbon and nitrogen, actually 2p orbital is just half filled, means pairing is not start in 2p orbitals, because boron has just one electron in p orbit 2px, carbon has 2 electrons in 2px and 2py, and nitrogen has 3 electron in 2px, 2py and 2pz. All are unpaired. So energy of 2p subshell is somewhat lower in these three elements like boron, carbon and nitrogen as compared to oxygen, fluorine and other higher atoms. So there is a less difference in energy between 2s and 2p. So these orbitals experience greater repulsion in these elements. So have a look at the energy level diagrams for these elements like boron, carbon and nitrogen when they combine together to form molecules like B2, C2, N2. So energy of sigma 2p gets increased due to repulsion between 2s and 2p orbitals, whereas in oxygen, fluorine and neon molecules the actual energy pattern is followed, that is sigma 2p is at lowest energy level, because here 2s and 2p do not experience big repulsion. So again we can have a look at these atomic orbitals. So from lithium to nitrogen, we have to show energy level diagram like this. Up to N2 molecule, we need to draw 2s and 2p orbitals like this. Actually beta, while drawing energy level diagrams, only valence shell orbitals are to be shown. So when you have to draw diagrams for lithium to nitrogen, you need to draw only 2s and 2p. You can leave 1s. And for oxygen, fluorine and neon, sigma 2p is to be drawn below pi 2p orbitals. Hope the thing is clear now. And next tomorrow we'll discuss about filling of electrons in these molecular orbitals on the basis of Bose principle, Hund's rule and Pauli's exclusion principle. Thank you and have a nice day.